covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Morgan Wrigley. Arkansas voters will start casting their ballots on Monday, and the Washington County Election Commission has already started setting up their 21 early voting sites.
Well, they plan to spend the next few days traveling to locations, getting everything set up that they'll need for a smooth election season.
We're now in crunch time right now, and so we actually bring in extra people to help us because it is so massive. We spend morning till late at night delivering to all of our polling sites.
We have all the details about early voting sites on our website, 5newsonline.com. There you'll find a full list of days, hours, and locations. After weeks of back and forth, we now know the fate of Arkansas's Issue 2.
On Thursday, the state Supreme Court ruled the proposed constitutional amendment that removes Pope County's casino license will be decided by voters. The group pushing for the amendment, local voters in charge, say they're glad the court saw their ballot initiative for what it is. But the group backed by the future Pope County casino operators say they're disappointed, and they'll campaign to get voters to say no to Issue 2. If approved next month, Pope County would lose its casino license, and voters will have the final say on whether or not to bring a casino to their community.
We're continuing coverage on a fire in Rogers that started Wednesday and is still burning right now. The Rogers Fire Department is tackling what was dubbed a 4-alarm fire at Mark Industries. They're asking everyone to stay back from the scene so crews can work.
People should be concerned about any type of smoke. Unfortunately, this smoke is a little bit more toxic due to the materials that are burned. So if they can avoid it at all costs.
That smoke is full of toxic chemicals. The Rogers Deputy Fire Chief says plastic and paper are burning at the Mark Industries facility. Even with firefighters pumping thousands of gallons of water, it may take a few more days before that fire can be extinguished. We'll have more news in just a minute.
Yeah, but first, it's really starting to feel like fall. You've probably noticed things are cooling down out there. Let's check in with Bella for that forecast. Hey, Bella.
Hey, we are feeling cool this morning, but things are changing as we move into the afternoon and evening. We've got some 70s out there for us, right around our seasonal average, 72 in Fayetteville, 76 in Fort Smith. Winds are coming in from our southeast. That's pulling in a little bit more heat and a little bit more moisture for us. That moisture won't help out a lot with our drought conditions, but it definitely is going to help out with the comfortability of what we're feeling outside. Winds are gusting just a little bit as we move into the later morning. We've got about 20 to 25 miles per hour, but the afternoon and evening, we're settling down. We'll see about 10 to 15 miles per hour with those light southeast winds. That's the strongest. We are mostly settling around 12 miles per hour with a strong gust coming in later in the day, but a majority of our day going to be spent really calm and nice. As we look forward into the weekend, we are getting excited, even warmer for us. A beautiful weekend to be enjoying the outdoors because we're seeing tons of sunshine, temperatures not too chilly out there, but still fall-like. We're seeing high 70s, about 77 in Northwest Arkansas on Saturday, creeping up to the high 70s on Sunday. Those morning temperatures staying on the cooler side, 40s, even some 30s sticking around for our mornings. We'll see those 80s creep into the River Valley a little bit sooner. We're likely to see those on Sunday. We will see them in Northwest Arkansas come Monday. Tons of sunshine through the rest of the week. That's going to help to heat things up. Into the middle of the week, we'll be up towards the mid 80s, still some lower 80s out there, and then we'll get a little bit of a cool down on Thursday, high 80s on Wednesday in the River Valley.
All right, thanks for that, Bella. Well, local shelters are making sure people who experience homelessness are protected from harsh weather during these overnight hours.
5 News reporter Kayla Davis tells us about the efforts in place and a new shelter in the area.
The fall season is upon us and nights are growing colder. According to the National Coalition for the Homeless, about 700 people experiencing homelessness die from hypothermia in the U.S. each year. Last winter, Northwest Arkansas suffered 9 consecutive days of extreme weather. Through the SAFE Plan and $45,000 of funding, Becky Sisson with Seven Hills says NWA is prepping for the worst.
We have partners such as Potter's House Genesis Church, Salvation Army, and of course 7 Hills, where we all come together and start planning what's going to happen when we have those extreme weather issues.
Combined with Salvation Army space and 7 Hills' new overnight shelter, a total of 64 beds will be available for emergency cold weather this year, while Genesis Church will serve as overflow, and they've learned a lot from last year's experience.
Last year we had ice on the roads for a very, very long time, and so things like making sure our parking lots are safe and clear was something that we took into consideration. That was very, very important. The fewer places that we have to transport people, the better.
And providing long-term relief.
The biggest change there is that this year we're going to be offering case management and resource advocacy while people are at cold weather shelter.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.
Salvation Army emergency cold weather sheltering opens when temperatures hit 32 degrees, and for 7 Hills that temperature is 15 degrees. And it's homecoming weekend on the Hill, which brings thousands of people to Northwest Arkansas. In 2012, the U of A did a study that found the average football game generated $4.9 million in visitor spending.
These same visitors generated $800,000 in local sales tax over a football weekend. Now, that was 12 years ago. The Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce says since then, our region has grown tremendously, of course. Now, if you're heading to Fayetteville, it's advisable to arrive early for any parking because of the influx of people. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday.
Yeah, have a great weekend.